Hi everyone, it's Latin Roses. Today I wanted to share with you two stories that I experienced within the same week regarding synchronicity. And once you start paying attention to synchronicity, you'll start noticing it all around you. And basically, the simplest, easiest way to define what synchronicity is basically a coincidence that is meaningful to the people experiencing it, that seems to be orchestrated by a higher being like God or the universe, higher power. And I had two events happen to me in the same week, and they had to do with one of my sons. And I have two sons, and I had experienced two different synchronistic events with each one of them. So if you follow me on my YouTube channel, you probably know that I have three kids from a prior marriage, two boys and a girl, and they're pretty much all grown now. So my boys, actually all my children, they're on a joint custody schedule where they are here with me for a week, then they're with their dad for a week. And just because they turned that magic number 18, they still chose to go week to week with each parent while they're still going to school and working, because it's just easier and they want to continue to see both their parents. It's convenient for everybody. We're all used to the schedule. So anyway, so the week that they were not with me, my sons always pop in and out. I never know exactly when they're coming all the time. And even though it may not be my week, they always stopping by anyway. So, which I love. I don't mind. I love seeing my children as much as possible. I enjoy it. So anyway, one of my sons, my oldest son, came by, and he comes over when he's not feeling well and he wants mommy to baby him. So he was not feeling well. He was experiencing TMJ symptoms, and his jaw actually locked, and he ended up having to go to the doctor and get some treatment. So he has the whole series, the television series of How I Met Your Mother. That's one of his favorite shows, and he likes to watch it with me when he's here. So he was here recuperating from his locked jaw, and we've been watching the series together in the order that it comes in. And so he put on one of the episodes, which was the next one in line for what we had been watching together. And one of the characters on the show was talking about how he was dating somebody with TMJ and how their jaw locked. And I just thought my son had purposely chosen that episode because he was experiencing that, so he wanted to see a show that talked about what he was going through. And he said to me, wow, what are the odds that show comes on? It's the next one in line for us to watch, and they're talking about the same thing I'm experiencing. And I said, oh, I thought you put that on purpose because you just wanted to see it. He goes, no, it was just the next one in line. And I was like, wow, what are the odds? That is something else. And then later on that same week, my kids aren't supposed to be with me, and so I don't know all their schedule all the time because their work schedules and their school schedules, I can't keep track of them all. And so my middle son, he works at a coffee shop. He's a barista. That's his part-time job, and he enjoys it. So my tax guy came over, and he hadn't seen my kids since they were little, so he hasn't seen them as grown-up people. So he doesn't really know what they look like so much anymore because they really morphed. And my tax guy has hundreds of clients, so I'm really shocked how he keeps track of us all. Right? He seems to keep us all straight. So anyway, he was over here, we were talking, and he said, just before I stopped by, I got a gift card for one of my clients for this local coffee shop near you where you live. So I decided to stop by before I came over. And I said, oh, my son works there. He's a barista there. And he said, oh, what does he look like? Because there were some young guys over there. And he goes, does he wear glasses? And I was like, no. And he was trying to describe who he saw working there. I was like, no, they don't sound like my son. I said, my son's tall and he's slender. And just when I was just starting to describe my son, my middle son, who comes to the front door of my house unannounced, wasn't expecting him, out of all three kids, He's the one that walked through the door at that exact moment. Was my middle son that worked at that coffee shop, came through the doors. And so I introduced him to my tax guy. And I said, oh, well, this is him now. And I introduced him. And I just was thinking, whoa, wow. I was like, what are the odds my son didn't come like a few minutes earlier or a few minutes later? He came at the exact moment I was describing to my tax guy what he looked like. And it was that son, and not any other son, not any other child. It was so weird, mind-blowing. I mean, that is synchronicity at its best. I love synchronicity. I think the more you pay attention to it, the more it starts showing up in your life. And the more you're trying to create your own life and manifest things, you're going to see signs like synchronicity pop up all the time. I love to hear people share their stories about their synchronicity. So if you have a story about synchronicity, sometimes it's hard for me to say that word, please share it with us in the comments below. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to stay in touch, subscribe. And as always, I wish you love, peace, and joy.